Born ready.
Born ready. Okay, well, in that case, welcome back to the Counter-Strike Casuals podcast. It's episode 13, and we're back from the player break. Or should we call this the Counter-Strike break in general? It's not just for players, it's for casual content creators like us as well. Because we
all had a break.
Took this opportunity to have a break as well. What did we do? I went to Glastonbury. What was that? No, we already knew that. That's boring. You went to Portugal?
Yeah, we kind of planned our holidays around the player break.
When we sat down with our wives, we said, listen, when do you want to go away? They're like, June. We're like, no.
Yeah.
It's got to be end of June to early July because that's when the player break happens. Anyway.
Yeah, I went Portugal.
Yeah.
And you went to...
I just got back from Spain yesterday. See my parents.
Nice.
That's all good. Yeah. And
back into it.
Straight back into it. You got some nice new hardware as well. You're not on the temporary laptop and mic now. You've got your setup's back in shape, which looks good. Got a new webcam that makes you look a bit tanned, or is it actually you going to Portugal?
Yeah, it looks orangey, doesn't it? I did get quite a good tan, to be fair.
We just spent like 15 minutes trying to sort your webcam out, and now that we started, you look fucking orange. You look like Ken.
The whole thing's quite orange. Turn the flash up. That's too bright. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that. But it's cool. We'll sort it out.
Don't worry about that now. We've got too much to go through. So, thankfully, while we're away, it was all quiet in the Counter-Strike world. Obviously not. It was super...
Yeah, it wasn't really.
It was mental. Everyone knows about the changes, so I don't think we need to systematically go through things. Well, maybe the casual listeners actually don't, but we're not going to go.
Well, let's go through the big ones. C9, I think that was only confirmed the other day. I think that's got to be the biggest move. They've got a pretty decent team now, I feel like.
Yeah. It looks fucking sick, and they're interesting because obviously with the games that have restarted now, we're seeing some of these teams in action, but we haven't seen Cloud9. But oh my god,
would you put them in your top 5 now?
Oh, I think I'm gonna have a reluctance throughout this podcast to talk about putting too many teams other than 2, which we'll talk about, in a position at the moment because they're all so new. There's so much that are moving and shaking that it's hard to call. All I know is Cloud9 looks super powerful right now. Getting rid of Buster was a brilliant move. Man, they look good. I'm excited to see them play. It'll be good to see how they merge. But I think that the problem we're going to have with all these, and we're going to talk about it, is it's just so new for them all, right? So they're all going to have a bit of...
I feel like they're all going to be fairly comfortable, though. Are they Russian majority?
Majority are, other than Hobbit, right?
Yeah, and I feel like...
On the beers for the return of the podcast, aren't we?
Yep. Let's go. I'm on the Brewdog.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
I kept it Spanish with a San Migueli, which I'm sure is
nice.
Not brewed in Spain.
Probably not.
Carlsberg, obviously.
Oh, there
anyway,
we go.
Sorry.
I think Perfecto and Electronic go into C9 together. I think they're pretty content, and there's no argument of like who's the best. They all know like Shiro and Exile. I like the big dogs, and then Hobbit. Who's in-game leader there?
Well, would it not be Perfecto or whatever? Who was? Because was he
Electronic?
Electronic. Sorry, was he not doing it?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
It'll be him, I assume.
Yeah, should be cool. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing them. The other big ones, we all know. I think, did we touch on it the last time? Navi and...
Well, I don't think the Navi news had actually been announced. We might have touched on the rumours, but we'll come on to Navi because I think it's important to talk about them in context because we can get excited about it on paper, but when you see it in action, it's all very exciting, and I, for one, am very happy with that. The Liquid, which we knew about that stuff before. The other big news since we did it was the Vitality news. Or did that, mate? This is why we shouldn't probably go over all this because I feel like we might be repeating stuff that we do or don't know. So that's why I think let's get into Blast because this is actually stuff in action.
we've actually come back at a good time because Blast has just started the group stages. So, do you want to run through the games? I feel like you've kept up with it.
I've kept
A
up with
little
a fair
bit
bit,
better
and
than I have.
watched bits and pieces as much as time's allowed me to. Yeah, we started the Blast, and the good thing about this Blast is it is not too many games in a day, so it's a bit easier to keep up for the casual heads. Not as just like 100 games a day. We started with FaZe. They had a nice easy win over OG. I don't think there's too many surprises there. It's just them getting off to a good start. The news obviously around FaZe at the moment is Robin leaving, which is big news, which came quite out of the blue, right? I think you were saying you watched the Carrigan interview.
Yeah, HLTV did an interview with Carrigan. He was saying it was a little bit out of the blue. They knew obviously before most people, but yeah,
So
it's a big loss for them, isn't it?
I think so, and I've seen a lot of. I've watched a few of the vlogs that Carrigan does. Obviously, watched some of them, right? And the impression I got of Robin was like he felt like proper one of the. The dynamic between the coaches and the other players and other rosters. I'm not really that sure how they go, but the Robin one with FaZe seemed to be like he's proper one of the lads. Like the banter and stuff they all had, he was like just with them all the time, and like the banter seemed pretty relaxed, and so I think it's going to be like they've lost a proper member of the team. Maybe not like a coach or a support staff, whatever you want to call a coach, almost like a proper member of the team, because he seemed to be a real driver, and they're just for like banter and laughs in these vlogs I watched. Obviously, when the stuff got serious, you didn't show all the training and all the tactics, so I don't know how much he influenced that, but he seemed to be a proper personality in the squad. So interesting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, but I think FaZe have been underperforming as of late anyway. So I think it, will it stir things up a little bit? Maybe if you were saying, he's kind of one of the lads. If they get a coach in, that's maybe a bit more, not more of a friend, but more of a leader.
Yeah, a bit more external.
Will that help?
A bit more. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get the impression in that team it would. I think that team does rely on that kind of relaxed.
They're all very relaxed, aren't they? They're like
they seem.
We touched on this in the past. They're like the opposite of heroic, where they're all like individually talented, but they're a little less organized. They feel like.
Yeah. Well, they got off to a simple start. They beat OG 2-0, man. It wasn't too much drama for them, so whatever, cool. And then the new look Liquid played G2, which was a very interesting matchup, considering G2 are G2 and Liquid had this new kind of look with Yakinda leading, and Patsy and Rainwaker coming in, and they beat G2. Beat them 2-1, which Hunter didn't play brilliantly for G2, and Hooksy was appalling for G2. I didn't watch the game, but I was keeping tabs on the old HLTV, and at one point, I think Hooksy had like 7 kills in a whole map or something, and like his rating was like 0.54. He ended the overall series with a rating of 0.64, which is
0.54 here, Andrew. I've just pulled it up.
That was one of his. That was one map, but overall it was 0.64.
Yeah.
Mate,
really, overall,
most of the in-game leaders who don't have that firepower, the Carrigans, they're not hitting that low usually. Like that is bad.
The thing with G2 are
they
can't afford.
I thought Hooksy was going.
It is, but they can't afford to. Everyone's been asking for him to leave, haven't they? I mean, outside of G2.
I thought he was. What's happened here?
The problem is, you're okay having a bad player if they're an insane in-game leader. You can't have Hooksy when you've got another player like Hunter that can also pull out a 0.60.
Hunter didn't play great.
He did on Ancient. So, yeah, I mean, it's like FaZe, for example. They can pull the weight of Carrigan. Carrigan's not even as bad as Hooksy, but they can pull the weight of Carrigan if he's not playing bad. If he's playing bad, sorry.
Yeah.
Because they've got so many other good players.
Yeah.
It's like Vitality, the best example with Apex. He's not the greatest player in the world, but they can carry them because they've got loads of good players. Same with G2. They've only got Monesi and
Nico, yeah.
Really. The rest of them, I mean, JKS isn't bad.
Yeah, JK is good bang.
He can hold his own. Yeah.
But that's exciting. I think it really makes the Liquid.
Yeah, Liquid are interesting. Rainwalker didn't have a great series. Patsy played well though.
Yeah, and NAF topped the charts as usual. So it'd be interesting to see them go into the next few games. I can't remember who they've got next. Who have Liquid got next? Oh, it's FaZe tomorrow, right? It's gonna be brilliant to watch that one. That's an exciting game.
That will be a good game. I feel like FaZe on paper before. If you asked me a few months ago, yeah, FaZe had wiped the floor with them. But now with these new rosters and FaZe not playing great recently, I think that could be a really good game.
Yeah, I think Liquid might nip it.
2:00 tomorrow, yeah.
2:00, really reasonable time, right in the middle of work, so I probably won't be able to watch it again. But still, I think, I think Liquid could win that, which pains me to say, although I do like Liquid. But yeah, so that was good. I enjoyed seeing a new look roster performing like that.
It's actually been good seeing these new games, hasn't it? We were both saying, although we've been busy, we've been holidaying, I have missed watching the games.
Yeah.
I'm playing. Like, we've both missed playing, but how would you have felt if the tournaments were on while you're away? Would you have watched them while you were away? Well, they kind of were, actually, weren't they? You only got back.
The first day was the FaZe game was on and the Liquid game was on when I was away, but I tried to watch a bit of it and my family moaned, so well, they were just like, this is a bit unsociable. I was like, fair enough.
Shut up.
Yeah. And your kinder's banging. And then we got to see the new look Navi. Very interesting. As they beat Astralis. Which
I'm a bit what's the word?
Look,
a bit let down.
What, by Astralis or Navi?
By Imma, to be honest. In general.
Okay, he didn't play great in the first game. Interesting as well, Buzz still continued to not play great in that game, I thought. So but they won 2-1. That they won. I think we would have expected them to win against Astralis, but we'll come on to the more exciting Navi game after, which is the one that was on today, which I watched in its entirety, and we're going to talk about that. But so New Look Navi did beat Astralis in their first game. Obviously, Astralis as well had their new lineup as well, their changed roster with Stare and Borup. Borup actually was bottom, but whatever, first game, I don't think you can look too much into this kind of stuff. Too many.
Is it me, or does Borup look like Glaive? A little bit.
Oh, do you think? Let's have a little look. I don't know.
Yeah, when they have the pictures in game.
Borup looks like a hillbilly.
Yeah, but when you just see the little profile picture on the in game, it kind of looks like him.
Well, I don't know about that. And then Heroic.
Or is it? Maybe I'm thinking of Zipex. Yeah, Zipex. Sorry.
More likely, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Zipex.
And then Heroic had an easy win and they beat Big, so we don't need to look into that too much. I was a bit disappointed because Mantu, who I backed in one of the last podcasts, said he was going to be big. He didn't play that well, although I think he performed today.
Yeah. Well, I just caught a little bit, and he had a good couple of rounds when I was watching.
He's a good player. I think he'll be fine. He'll come through. Interestingly, Complexity beat Nip, so which I thought it's going to be interesting to see Elige. And in my notes for today, when I saw a bit of the match and the result, I put the start of the Elige era ? Because they beat Nip, and I thought for a team where Complexity were, and when we saw them in the last tournament, they were so bad. But then they came against Vitality after that, and Vitality destroyed them. I think Complexity only got like 7 rounds over the series, and rip. The Elige era is not going to be a thing, but Complexity do look a bit better now they've got him. But while we're on the subject of Vitality, they beat EG and, as I just said, Complexity and Flames Z, man. He looks good. He looks like he's fitting in. Vitality look fucking like Vitality, right? They look like they're just there to do.
I think they look better. They look like they mean business. Now they've got more firepower. They've literally only got Apex, who couldn't be the top frag.
Yeah, but he's
Like,
in game leading and he's doing his job.
yeah, exactly. So
So
you can kind of give him a pass for that. Like, literally all their players are really fucking good.
the initial the first two games from Vitality does show that was the right move because Flamesy's already, or Flames, whatever, is already putting up better stats and better decisions than Dupree, even though Dupree still served the right role or did his job as mentor really, because when it happened, you are just a bit like, oh, Dupree, but fucking hell, he's answering all those questions, Flamesy, isn't he, by just doing what
Well, we kind of, when we talked about this on the last podcast, we kind of said, yeah, he's got all the firepower, which we know. It's all the other little details that Dupree brought to the table. And at the moment, yeah, they've played EG and complexity, haven't they? So
Well, true. To be fair, mate, I'm getting ahead of myself.
yeah, so let's get out the group stages because the next game's going to be complexity or NIP.
Yeah, so they've already beat complexity, and if Nip get through it, I fancy them to beat Nip, so they should.
I want to see them against a good team, and to be honest, when I'm looking, the only good team I think that can challenge them is Heroic at the minute. To be completely honest, looking at, yeah.
Well, it brings us nicely onto today's game, which was Navi Heroic.
Yeah.
Which
Heroic, I've been doing pretty good.
Well, I watched this game, and Heroic just looks so organised. They look so organised. They look so switched on. They just look like they know exactly what they should be doing, and in any situation, Cadian making the right calls, Ross making some sick plays, and Navi still look a bit like Navi.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's talking about how weird this Navi shake-up is, and I think it is weird, and I think it's just showing, on paper, him smashing it, and he's not, and it just shows.
Well, the decision to replace, what's his face, Navi MPL, was right with Imma. And that's where I think you should have probably just left it. I don't think there was much more you should have done. But I know that they've got away from the Russian-Ukrainian thing and they're trying to do international. But this is not looking better at all. I mean, Alexi B looks a mess. He looks, I think, a bit scared. Not scared, but anxious of his decisions at the moment. I know we're only 2 games in, but
He was the highest rated against Heroic as well.
Yeah, he played. So he was appalling on.
He wasn't great.
No.
They were all shit.
Yeah. They were abysmal. But on one of the maps, he was appalling. It might have been the Inferno one, and then he just stepped up and just started getting loads of kills. It was really weird. Interesting after his fake blunder where he pushed into B, which I sent you the clip for. He pushed into B, pretty much got onto site, saw it was clear, and then didn't call in time, and they all rushed A, where Heroic had stacked A, and all just died instantly. But after that round, it was 14-7 at that time, and on Inferno, and then he just ended up stepping up and just getting loads of kills, and he brought it all the way back to 15-10. They got 3 rounds, and then they ended up losing. But interestingly, already after that as well, there's been loads of stuff online. I saw on Inferno as well, one of the later rounds when a few of the Navi guys got killed, someone spotted Simple just spinning around in apps. Apparently through rage, he's just raging, trolling, this is shit. We're getting done, and he's just spinning around.
Really?
Yeah, and then he tweeted as well, and he said, "Trash mistakes, trash results. Good game, well played. Heroic. Apparently, we need more time." So he's already a salty motherfucker. he's already. You could. I already feels like Alexi B probably is like, shit, man, what am I doing? I'm just gonna get moaned at by Simple all the time.
I think that is what's going to happen. I think Bit and Simple are just going to be like best mates and hating on everybody else. To be honest, I don't know how you fix Navi at the minute. I feel like they've done a big shake-up, but none of them get on. They need to become a team. They need to become friends. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And I don't know if that's going to happen. Like, they don't feel like personalities don't gel very well.
Yeah, this is it. They definitely don't seem like the type that can have a laugh at, away from the server or have a bit of a drink and just banter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they've got big nicks, and big can turn up and beat people like Navi as well. So if they lose to them as well, it starts to look really. I know we're really early on, and I guess all of this is a bit cautious, but hey, we're here to
that's why we're here.
Make opinions and say silly shit. So fuck Navi. And then the last result today was Big, who beat Astralis, and again, Astralis are in loads of trouble. If we're on the if we're in the mood to be outrageous with statements, Astralis are in loads of trouble as well because they lost two games. They lost to Big, and they lost to Navi, who, we're saying Navi aren't great. Well, Astralis lost to them, and they've now lost to Big. Big.
So Astralis are out now, yeah.
Do they go to a No, yeah, they're out. Yeah, Astralis are out.
Yeah.
So, mate, Big were 50th in the world before this tournament. That's how badly they've been playing recently. But Mantu is a good player, I think, and they made some good signings, so they're going to be all right. But yeah, when you look at Astralis, again, Buzz actually turned up in this last game, but they got rid of Glaive. Obviously, Zipex went. It's just like, I don't know, man. They've still got Buzz. It's just
it's early days. Yeah, I still don't understand why they're hanging on to Buzz. Don't really get that. But we'll see. And it's early days, for the new guys. Stairs had a good series and a bad series.
And he's young, and I think that's.
I think they could get there. They're all Danish, aren't they? They could get there. I feel like if they stick together, and I feel like they could gel with Navi. I feel like I don't feel that they're gonna gel. They might start playing better CS, but I don't think they're gonna gel. I can't see them. I can't see them performing against any of the top 5 or top 3, should I say?
Yeah. So those are the kind of exciting Blast games, I guess. I don't know. There was a few others, I think EG Nip or Complexia or something, but just not that exciting and that sexy to talk about, to be honest with you. But it's good to see these new teams, all these new rosters competing. I think definitely out of the new look teams, I would say Liquid, although they've only played one game, look exciting. Vitality looks sick. Heroic looks sick, but they've made no changes.
G2 don't, and they've not made any changes.
FaZe look like FaZe, but they've won one, so we'll see how they go.
I don't feel like there's any big shake-ups at the minute. The biggest one, I just feel like it's a 2-horse race between Vitality and Heroic. I'm not saying they're the ones that are going to finish the winners of this tournament, but in terms of best teams in the world, it's between them two. And obviously they are 1 and 2. I don't know, like, who would be a better team out of those two at the minute.
Yeah,
it's just crazy. It's crazy to me when you think, right, Vitality and FaZe, you look at their players and they're sick, and then you look at Heroic's players and none of them are like stand out.
No.
Sick players.
They're never like the star player, are they?
Yeah, but they're number 1 in the world. I love that, and it baffles me, but I love it.
Well, I do think Cadian gets not enough attention for his role in that, because he just puts up like near start making rounds and shots and plays whilst in-game leading, which is mental. Because that's almost like 2 spots there taken.
The fact that he's doing it while in-game leading is crazy.
Yeah, so...
Just going to open this other beer, mate, but I did drop it on my way here, so it might go everywhere.
It might ruin your new webcam. Go on then, let's see what happens.
No, all good.
Oh, anticlimax that. It's like Navi and their new roster.
Yeah.
So, good first few games, a few days of games, enjoying it. What else have we got coming up then? So we've got some more Blast games. We've got FaZe Liquid tomorrow. That'll be good. The announcement for the Blast groups was also made as well, which I find... So I posted it in a group, which I don't know if I can bloody find it now.
The announcement for what, sorry?
So the group state, so the groups that are already... Hang on. For the... Sorry, this is annoying that I now can't find this because they announced the groups for the Blast. Where is it?
Just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Well,
I might sack it off because I saw it and I posted it in our group and I said, "Oh, it's really
Blast."
I think it was the Blast because this is the groups, isn't it? So what have I got?
Yeah.
Why did they announce something then? They announced it and it was like Group B and A. Or was it just for this?
I don't know, mate. Was it Blast themselves announced it?
Mate, I don't know. Fuck my life. Who cares?
Maybe it was this. Yeah. Also, interestingly, not that anyone cares really, but Into the Breach have kind of fell apart. They had their 15 minutes of fame. Vault left. I don't even know if he's joined another team, but he's left. Cypher joined TSM.
Well, that's the rumor, isn't it? I don't know if it's actually been fully.
TSM are forming a team. I'm pretty sure, like it is. Like
well, they're reforming, aren't they? But I thought Dupree was meant to be doing that as well.
No, Dupree's not there. They've got Cypher and 2 or 3 other players, but they've not announced a full team yet.
Okay.
So yeah, that's they're done. Endpoint have gone fully British, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've signed some new players. That should be pretty cool.
Fnatic benched Nicodemus, didn't they?
Nicodemus, yeah, that surprised me a little bit. I feel like he's not a bad player.
And I thought Crims was leaving, or was that? Have I made that up as well?
Crims is never leaving.
Well, I mean, pardon me if you heard that. Well, there was rumour that he was anyway.
Yeah, who've they got now?
They added Dexter, didn't they, from Mouse when Shui went to Mouse.
Yeah, I mean they're not blowing anyone out of the water with that roster, are they?
No,
yeah.
Roger.
Nothing too amazing. What about CS2, mate? Anything?
No, I'm still not in. I still load it every day.
The Windows on Nuke smashed pretty cool though.
Yeah,
that's about it. I've seen some bugs on Nuke, and that's it.
The other thing that I really want to do, or that I started looking into today, was finding or creating a. I mean, I guess it's just a Discord, isn't it? It's just we need to find a group of casual players that want to try and play some games with us, because I'm so fed up with joining a random 5-stack and just having like a Lithuanian bloke shout at me down a microphone and just say like, "Fuck you, Blue," and I'm like, I'm trying to do the right thing here. I'm actually trying to like save if it's me versus 3 or something, you know. So it's definitely something I want to look into or do, but I just don't know how it's best to get that going. So if we actually have any listeners that want to just play some casual games, and we're not gonna rage, are we? We're not gonna.
There needs to be our rank. I mean, what?
Just not for CS2.
Oh, CS2.
Well, whatever. It could be.
Yeah, CS2. I think we're gonna have a few.
Face it. We're shit at Face It. We can play Face It.
Yeah, true. I think a few people will be on CS2 that we know, but Yeah, it's just fitting in our schedule because we don't play that often.
I definitely need some more people than just you and me because we hold too much ag from randoms in matchmaking that's just not.
What's if you could change, like, what's the most irritating thing people do in game?
It's probably just raging at you and you're just or if you like the first 3 rounds you don't get a kill, let's say, just because you're like finding your feet or you just do some silly shit and you're like, oh yeah, shit, I'm playing, I need to really focus up here and do something, and they're just like instantly aggy at you or like not very, I don't know, do you know what I mean, like bite at you.
Just people being angry in general.
That's what I mean in toxic, and you're like, by the end of the.
I thought you were gonna say when people just buy up, like keep buying every round and never.
Nah, that's not the end of the world. Just idiots. You can always pick up off them after they die, but no. And then by the end of the game, though, you're often higher fragging than them or top, and it's like, shut up, mate. You don't know what you're doing anyway. You're some weirdo.
After 2 rounds they shout at you, then like after like 8 rounds in, they're bottom fragging.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god.
No, it annoys me more when they just don't talk at all.
Okay, yeah. Like, is that yours? Is it?
Probably. Yeah, I don't mind the raging. I just ignore them. It's just no comms. It's just annoying. Really annoys me.
Fair enough. Is there any other big? Oh, that other team, that M80 as well. That was quite exciting news, I thought, only because the Def is going to be coaching them, the British guy who's been playing Valorant. So M80 are returning to Counter-Strike, or M80 enter Counter-Strike. Sorry, they've already got a load of other teams, and they've got Swisher playing for them. So
American organization, right?
Yes.
North American. Yeah. No, I did read a little bit of that article, but yeah, it didn't jump out to me too much. I didn't know much about it, and like you say, they've got teams in Valorant. And did you say it was one player from Valorant?
Well, the coach is Def. How do you pronounce his name? Who's British, and he was been at Valorant for like 3 years.
Ooh.
I know.
I actually played Valorant the other day.
And how was it?
Such a weird game. Like, I was just pulling headshots left, right, and center, and I'm pretty sure I wasn't aiming at anyone's head. Like, I was just flicking and getting headshots, and I was like, what?
You were just that good.
No, other people were doing the same, and I was just like, this is weird. I don't feel like people are actually aiming at the heads. But then I did like see a video about the what do they call it?
Tick rate.
No, when they talk about all the bullshit behind the game, like hitboxes and rates and the tick everything, the net coding.
Okay, the net code. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've heard people say like, "Oh, it's not great. They've got a high tick rate, but it doesn't really make it better."
Right.
I was also interestingly watching a video, might have been the same one, talking about why Valve haven't introduced like 128 tick servers. The main reason being is they want it to be a level playing field, and most computers, because they have a lot of statistics on people that play.
Yeah.
Most people's computer that play couldn't run that anyway, and everyone wants it.
Or couldn't utilize it probably.
Yeah, it sounds great, but it's actually better off playing like this because everyone's playing at a level playing field, and people don't even notice the difference.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, I feel like, do you notice it and face it compared to CS? Normal matchmaking. I don't know actually.
Just in your head, like if
I think initially, I think like pistol rounds you do, and then like 6 rounds in, you've forgotten about it, haven't you? You know, you're just like, you're either playing shit or you're playing alright.
Yeah, like I say, I think it depends on so many other factors as well, like how good your computer is, your internet connection,
internet speed. Yeah, I reckon internet speed's a big one of that as well.
Yeah, your ping, all sorts of stuff. So if you've got a better internet connection, you might just have an advantage.
So what I found during this player break, because you just don't get in the mood for Counter-Strike, which is interesting that you played Valorant. I played Valorant as well, didn't I? Just another day.
I only played one game.
I think I played 2. What was that? Been trying to find that other game that's like filled a bit of a spot or something, and tried that battle bit that everyone's going on about, which is actually quite fun, but I just know that none of our mates are going to like it because it's too babyish. And then today I installed Armour 3, because my mate been trying to get me on that for ages, which is like a real, like, realistic, modern war shooter. But none of them are CS, and the problem is, it's just so horrible playing CS on your own. So if you're just sat there on your own, you're like, why? Let's play something else. And also, I just feel like all this stuff is filler until we get CS2. At which point the grind is going to start, and it really is going to start for me. I can't envisage playing anything else once CS2 is out.
I don't feel like it's going to be that different though. Like it's just going to be based on like CS:GO.
Nah, it's going to be big, mate. But uninstall.
I mean, I want the hype and everything, and I love it, but I don't want you to like be disappointed when it comes out.
Definitely have a moan. Yeah, I'll find something to moan about in it, but
it's the same. It's just the same.
Well, then there's loads to moan about then. Yeah. But I might invest in learning lots of smoke lineups for it because of the hype. The hype might bring me to that point.
I don't know if this is the right time to ask you, but I was thinking actually with like utility being so prevalent in the game now, and I was thinking when I was watching the game today, what's like the biggest? I don't think it's going to be this, but I know you're going to assume I'm thinking your nades when I tell you to use your nades better. But what's the biggest advice or biggest change you made in your game that gave you the biggest improvement?
Well, yeah, probably buying a HE grenade at the start of every game for a pistol round.
No, seriously.
CT,
like
that's
for me,
CT in it.
When you first started playing, did someone say to you, like, oh, you need to do this? Because I remember someone saying to me, your crosshair placement is so important. And this is when I was new. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, keep it at head height. And I was like, okay.
Makes
and that
sense.
was probably like the biggest advice.
One of the biggest, I don't know if it's advice, right? But I feel like I need reminders of like bad habits.
Yeah. That's true.
And the biggest one was when I was playing recently with you weren't on, so I solo queued, and I got put with, I think I was the lowest rank, and I just pushed the smoke like twice on Mirage CT when I was CT and I was holding A, and the guy was like, "Why are you pushing the smoke?" I'm like, "Mate, I don't know. I'm playing so shit." You know, when you just get inside your head, and you're like, "I don't know what I'm doing." And he's like, just don't push the smoke. Just sit on site. And then as soon as I started doing it, I'm like, oh yeah, they're just coming through to me, and like it's made it a lot easier. So I just think sometimes I need reminders of silly things that you know.
That sounds like proper noob advice. Like, don't walk through a smoke.
Yeah, I know, but like I said, it's like when you're just a bit out of whack, and I think solo queuing is a big part of it. You do silly things when you solo queue. So I don't know if it's advice other than the help you've given me on the nades, to be fair, but just little reminders of not being a noob is what helps a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
What's yours then? Just aim at the head, click the head.
No, that was something I learned like really early on. But no, I've not. Other than that, like, if there's like a new player, like say one of your friends just started playing, that is one of the number one advices I would give them. Like, learn crosshair placement
and invest in learning utility. That's my biggest disadvantage.
You've got the crosshair placement. Like your aim's on point. So, and I can only teach you about utility because I'm not even good at utility, but I just use it a lot. So it's the only thing I could teach you. Well, you need to teach me how to shoot better. I've told you this before.
No. There's no hope. Right. Well, let's move to wrap this up then. So what have we got coming up then? So like I said, the exciting things are the Blast games. We still want to see how the rest of the new teams perform. Around the corner at the end of July, we've got IEM Cologne, which is the big one. That's the kind of the bigger tournament, that we've got coming up, which I think is going to be sick. Cloud9 will see there. Ents will be there, and then the usual crowd that we're seeing at the moment. After people have played the play-in, which is like the qualifiers. So the qualifiers for IEM Cologne, which is this is what's so annoying with Counter-Strike as well. Why do they call it like the play-in? Why don't they just call it qualifiers? Why do they always make it so stupid? It's qualifiers. So the qualifiers start 26th, so not next week, the following Wednesday. Into the Breach, the Mongols, Mouse, Fnatic, 9, Apex, loads of good fun there. So we're going to see loads of people in action. The new Into the Breach lineup, what they look like. Mouse with Shuri at the helm, what that's going to look like. And Fnatic as well. So that'll be good. Tomorrow, Liquid phase. That'd be good. See what happens there. I think Liquid take it. But yeah, it's been a good first week back.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because we've only had a glimpse at these new teams up to now. The next podcast, we will have seen a good chunk of this tournament. When does it finish, this tournament?
Well, this is the qualifies to the finals. This is the full final, which is the one we went to watch in Copenhagen. So this is to get to that point where you're at the LAN.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll have a better opinion for the next podcast anyway, which will be coming out next week.
Next week we'll do it. We've got another busy week with life, haven't we?
Yeah, but we will be back on it. We're going to try and get into a regular output of videos now, aren't we?
Yeah, we need to, because we're a bit rusty at the moment, aren't we?
We've had our break. We've refreshed. And if CS is back.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to play any games, shout me, because I'm here to be a sweaty casual.
He's desperate.
I am desperate for some games. We're going to go play some now. Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right. Peace out. GG. 13, episode number 13. Unlucky for some, but very lucky for the Counter-Strike casuals.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. GG. GG.